Good morning from Switzerland. This will be our second video from our Switzerland series. But before we get to our adventure we have planned today, let me tell you how we got here. Now in our last video, Kurt did a really epic hike down some steep mountains, got caught in the rain, and it took a little longer than he thought. So we had to drive late into the evening to try to find somewhere to park for the night in the rain. But it was through beautiful, beautiful rolling hills with little Swiss chalets all up on the valleys, cows, cool little village towns, a beautiful drive. We pulled in right as the sun was going down, slept in just a basic parking lot, got up really early this morning, drove through the city of Lucerne, decided not to stop because if you follow us, you know, cities are kind of difficult, so we're very picky about which cities we see. But we were able to get a shot of the famous Chapel Bridge as we drove through. Then we drove through some more rolling, beautiful hills and valleys. Ended up going through this place where waterfalls just cascading off the side of the mountains everywhere. And now we have arrived at our parking place at our next destination. So let's go pay and get to it, guys.
Another adventure.
So we parked down here. We've made this walk right here to the entrance building. Now this apparently is the west side, and it looks like there's an east side. We're gonna just walk up through here and see what we see. Looks like you can do a hike all the way around if you want to as well. But we'll probably go in a ways and come back out. When we finish here, we will be heading to the famous Interlaken area. I would say we're probably right here. So it's a short drive. We need to find a campsite. It's really hard to not have a campsite in this area. But there's some cool stuff we want to see in that part of the beautiful country of Switzerland. And then we'll head up in here and get up into the little Swiss villages, the mountain villages, get closer to those peaks. All right, I'm gonna call this Aareschlucht. What do you think, Kurt? Aareschlucht?
Yeah, Aareschlucht.
Aareschlucht. All right, so this gorge is about 1,400 meters long, which is a little less than a mile. It gets as skinny in places as just a little over 3 feet wide. It can be as wide as 40 feet in or 40 meters. So that'd be about 125, 130 feet. The highest place, the highest cliff is 180 meters. And then you have water levels at 5 meters and all of that. But what's cool is they have found fossils of corals and shellfish here dating back 130 million years, which means this place used to be an ocean. And then you go to 15 million years ago and it was completely covered with ice during the ice ages. So this place has had some cool history. Let's go see how pretty it is. Curdy, I feel like this sign is especially for you. Do not leave the footpath as we're going into a tunnel, guys. Ooh, it's cold in here. Oh, wow, look at this thing, guys. Look at this thing.
So if you watch the water down there, you see how it swirls? That's kind of what gives these walls this pattern, is those little swirlies there just cut the wall. And I'll tell you what, right after that tunnel, we stepped right into this gorge, and it is stunning. A little slot canyon, and And then as the gorge opens up here, we can just see water pouring off the side of the mountain, almost like a shower. And I just love these little gorges. They make just such beautiful little places with all the lighting. And this particular one with the sheer walls on one side and then the mossy walls on the other side. And then of course that signature glacier water running through here. Beautiful. Water's just dripping down the face of the rocks, and then every once in a while you can just see water just spewing off the side of the mountain, but you can see the power of the river right down below us. It's just washing out beneath the stone, and I'm sure one day this will fall in. But wow, what a powerful, beautiful place.
Gotta stand up, gotta clear your eyes, gotta walk on to the other side, let a new sun fill your mind, bring the brave to life. There's a wild world waiting on you, full of wonder, rage and fire. See it all laid out before you. Come alive, come alive, come alive, come alive. There's a window in a wooden room full of yellow crashing morning bloom. It's a great call and it's pulling you. Oh, don't close your eyes. There's a wild world waiting on you, full of wonder, rage and fire. See it all laid out before you. Come alive, come alive, come alive, come alive.
So people have been able to visit this gorge for over 125 years, walking through these same tunnels. So the first pioneers that kind of discovered it knew that people were going to want to see it and went to work way back then on building these walkways. Now, they're concrete and handrailed now, so I know there's been major improvements along the way. But how cool that people have been walking these same caves for well over 100 years to look at this beautiful gorge.
And right out here where this water is literally shooting off the side of the mountain, this gorge opens up and it's pretty wide, and it's almost just like misty in here from all the water and also from the steam from the sun hitting down and warming up this little area. Now it's quite cool and damp in the caves, but out here I can tell you that sun feels good.
So right across the way, you can see that little tunnel, and right there's a little door. There's also an eagle emblem shield type thing carved in the side of the wall. So these were dorms built with the ability to house 185 officers and soldiers during World War II. So they were built in 1940. For whatever reason, they were never used, but they're still here today. Two kitties. Hi, buddy. Hi, Amanda. You look pretty cozy over there. All right, we're coming in. We have made it back to the van. I would say that adventure took us about an hour and a half, and let's see how many steps. 5,700 steps. So it was beautiful, it was pretty. There are a lot of gorges in this area. We chose one, hopefully we chose a good one for you guys and you enjoyed it, but that cost 24 francs for us to do that. So that's probably 28 to 30 US dollars for 2 people. So we can't just run around going to every gorge in Switzerland throwing out that much money each time. But that one delivered, didn't it, Kurt?
It was pretty cool. I really like the slotty canyon effect.
But anyway, if you're just coming here on a typical vacation, you can catch a train here. And definitely bus tours come here. You can drive here very easily if you rent a car. So it's a good one. If you're coming to Switzerland, you can put it on your list. Now we're headed to try to find a campsite, hopefully on a beautiful lake. We have made it to the 2 lakes that make up the Interlaken region here in Switzerland. And we have now gone to 3 campsites. 2 of them looked full, 1 of them looked like it had room, but we have discovered something. In this part of the world, I don't know if it's all of Switzerland or just this part, the campgrounds close from like 11 to 2 or 3. So if it's not check-in time, there's nobody there to even ask if there's room. So we have found a campsite that online says there is space available. It is about another 10 minutes up the road. We're driving by these beautiful glacier blue lakes, and hopefully we get there about the time the reception opens up, and hopefully we can just pull in and get parked and see where we end up and figure out what our next activity is going to be. So finding a campsite's not the easiest thing, is it, Curdy?
It hasn't been so far, although we've been pretty fortunate to have some good spots.
Yeah, we have. So it's just because it's high season and we are in a touristy area, and we're not the type of people to make reservations because we really don't know where we're going to be when. Cross your fingers we figure something out. Yesterday, you were with us riding around looking for a campsite here in the Interlaken area. Well, we finally found one. It took several tries. This spot had a few camping spots left, so we squeezed into one. We were able to get a nice hot shower and do a little relaxing. We've been running pretty hard trying to take advantage of the good weather. Now, this campsite was right on the river that connects 2 beautiful lakes here in the Interlaken area, and this is a touristy area. So bright and early this morning, we are headed south from here. From what we have heard, read, seen, and everything, to one of the most beautiful places in Switzerland. We're about to drive you through the Lauterbrunnen Valley. Right, Curdy?
She pronounced Lauterbrunnen? Wow!
I don't even know if that's right, but we'll see. Let's go see how beautiful this place is.
Looking out, the morning air is waiting for us now. Calling to the space between the clouds. There's something beautiful in the quiet we have found. Something beautiful. We will go as far as our feet can take us. Heaven knows the world that we will find. We'll paint the open sky, illuminate the night. You and I, right where we belong.
Well, we are quickly becoming aware of the beauty of Switzerland, and it is dynamic. As we came up in this valley this morning, sort of through the cool little resort towns, we have snow-covered mountains in the background and these steep cliff faces. Some areas you just have water pouring off, and in this instance we ride a gondola up over the waterfall, and there's a village up top. Now this village is only accessible by gondola. And so we're gonna go up there. Some people stay overnight. We're just gonna go explore and see what it's all about. But it all starts with the gondola ride.
So we're at Stechelberg. We're gonna go up to Gimmelwald, and then from there we're gonna go to the little village of Mürren. 1638 meters. We could keep going way up if we wanted to. We could always change our mind and go to the top, but I think we'll settle at Mürren. Welcome to the mountain village of Mürren. There are no cars up here. The only way to get up here is by gondola.
Or you can hoof it up.
You could walk up, but we took two gondolas, one to an even smaller place called Gimmelwald. We changed quickly and headed on up here to Mürren, where we're gonna take a little stroll and check out these beautiful Swiss buildings and the views that are all around us. I think we're at about 53 or 5,400 feet. You could have kept taking the gondola farther up the mountain. I think there's one more village up there called Berg, and you can go all the way to the top of one of these mountains where there's a revolving restaurant. But we chose Mürren to explore for right now. And it is a really beautiful little village. Now it's interesting to be in a village with no cars, especially coming from a construction background. Like, how in the heck do they get all the materials up here to build this stuff? Well, I think Kurt showed you a little bit this morning. The helicopter's down below doing some maintenance. I would imagine they also bring up heavy loads. Look at these views everywhere. So a small little village, a lot of little bread and breakfasts, some small to mid-sized hotels, hiking equipment rentals, small little grocery stores, a typical little tourist village. Now in the wintertime, this place is sitting right in the middle of a ski resort. I imagine it's a bit more bustling then. We've had a few cars pass us, so there's obviously a road that comes up here. So a few small cars, probably for the shop owners, and there's a lot of construction going on right now, so I'm sure they need a way to move some of the materials around. So it's not a 100% car-free village. Got a giant chessboard behind us. You'll also see a lot of water fountains. There is no need to buy bottled water when you're in these villages. You just carry your water bottle and fill it up as you need to. Lots of little shops. This one's telling us about its homemade food and snacks, cakes and tarts. Probably a lot of artisan type food up here. Kurt's walked over there to get a better view of the valley, but it is beautiful up here. But if you're looking for nightlife and excitement, I'm thinking this would not be it. This is more of a relax, chill, sleepy little pretty village up in the Swiss Alps.
This is probably not gonna come out right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. But to be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed in this area. It really hasn't lived up to its marketing from my perspective. First of all, it's supposed to be an autoless, carless village up in the Swiss mountains. And we've seen a lot of these little tractors, work trucks, and even cars buzzing around. And really, they're all working, so they don't have a lot of respect for you as a pedestrian. And there's a lot of construction going on here, so clearly people are paying high dollar to stay in these hotels and Airbnbs and things like that. And I guess maybe because it's a cheap lift ticket up here, you can stay up here. And the views are beautiful and stunning, and I know there's plenty of hikes. It's $9 or $10 for a cup of coffee, which makes sense, I guess, because they had to lug the stuff up here. But there's just really, other than the beautiful views, not much to this place. And as you guys know, there are a lot of beautiful views in the mountains and stuff. And this can compete with some of them. But still, I feel a little underwhelmed with the little village up here on the hill.
All right, guys, we've come on down the gondola. We're back down to the parking lot. It is probably about 10:30, and you can see the people are just pouring in here. The parking lot is full of buses. I just passed about 100 people getting on the gondola that I just got off of. There's going to be lines everywhere. I am so glad we decided to get up early and come visit this area before these crowds get here. So that's a little tip. If you're coming here and you're taking the public transportation up, take the earliest way up possible to beat the crowds.
All right, so see these guys right here? There's two guys and a girl, and they jump down in the squirrel suits, you know, like the flying suits. You see them, they got them on, it looks like. And they came flying down from the sky. All of a sudden I was like, what is that? It was just like a rocket going across the sky. Ooh, that one turned upside down.
Yeah.
The paragliders are coming down all over the place, and all of a sudden their chutes pop open, and I could see they were squirrel divers. But anyway, a lot of adventuring going on back in this valley, and with this giant waterfall just dumping down, it is really some stunning views down through here. So this place is really beautiful, but also very touristy.
Yeah, so we did not stop at the little Gimmelwald village because it looked like little villages that we drive through all the time, but we've kind of given this place a little bit of a hard time, and it's because it's touristy. If you follow our journey, you know we prefer to be off the beaten path. I think if you're coming to Switzerland on a typical vacation where you're staying in hotels, coming up here for a day trip, I think is a beautiful idea. It is stunning, it is beautiful, and you don't get to drive through the countryside and see this miles and miles of this like we do. So this is where you would come to see something like this on a typical vacation. So it's definitely beautiful here, and the added adventure of the people jumping off the side of these
falling
cliffs
from the sky
is just a bonus. So don't let us not being 100% happy with this place deter you if you're planning a typical Switzerland vacation. But now we are headed to our next campsite, where we hope we have a beautiful epic lake hike we'll be able to take y'all on tomorrow if the weather holds. So Kurt has walked right across the street there to the Lidl grocery store to pick up a few things. As we're headed towards this camp, I think we're going to stop and slow down a little bit at the camp for 2 or 3 days. We all need it. G's yelling at us. We've been running really hard trying to take advantage of this 2 days of really good weather. If we get lucky, the first half of tomorrow will be good too, and we can take you to see a beautiful lake. But then the forecast calls for rain, so I think we're going to rest for a couple of days. So we're stocking up on groceries, but as we're driving to the campsite from the Lauterbrunnen Valley, it's about an hour and 15-minute drive. But for a portion of it, we're driving by a lake called Thun Lake, Thun. And this lake is part of the Interlaken system. So there's Breens Lake and Thun Lake, and they're connected by a little river. Now last night on that little campsite, that's where we were camping. But these are 2 stunningly beautiful big lakes. And on the very north tip of this Thun Lake, I believe is where you would find the city of Mürren. But we're just driving past it. It's a little too cold to try to take advantage of a lake day and get in the water, especially for us Florida people. But it is beautiful, and it's a blue like you've never seen, and these mountains is the backdrop. I know we're just showing it to you from the highway, but it was worthy of making sure you guys saw it. So again, if you're coming in on a typical vacation, Interlaken, the city between these 2 lakes, is kind of a hub where you can stay and take day trips to many of these beautiful places. So I'm going to stock up on a few groceries. We've got about another 25 minutes to drive back up into the mountains a little bit to our new campsite location. So let's see if we can get settled in and get G settled down. Vanna, our good sweet little princess, of course, is not making a sound. G, he's yelling at us. What's the matter, buddy? You want to settle down for a few days? We've been going too hard. Meow. Gee. I know, buddy. We're working on it. Before you guys start yelling at me for living with our cats in a van, G yelled at us and had temper tantrums when we lived in our big 4,000 square foot house too. It's just his nature. He can get grumpy. So it's not because he's sad and miserable from living in a van. It's because he's spoiled rotten and not getting exactly what he wants, even though he has everything he needs. Oh, how I love that little fuzzy-bellied monster. We have made it to our campsite. Rendezvous something another, camping. You can see we are right underneath a gondola lift. Beautiful views all around. We're definitely going to settle in for a couple of days and just rest here. So to see the rest of our adventure, you'll have to come back in a couple of days, but don't worry. We're going to take you up that gondola and show you what's on the other side of this beautiful mountain that we are staring at from our little tiny house on wheels. How you doing in there, Curdy?
Make some lunch. I'm hungry, ready to settle in.
And rest. We'll see you guys in a few days. Cheers. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us a lot. And if you want to see more of our videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. We'll see you guys in a few days from somewhere out here in the world. Cheers.